Welcome to Stree Shakti at the Coffee Conversation Show, powered by the Emerging India Forum TEIF and a tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution. Today's theme is empowering boards and breaking barriers. We have with us Neha Shah, co-founder of MentorMyBoard, independent director at multiple organizations, and a recipient of the prestigious Nari Shakti Award. Neha has redefined leadership and mentorship in India's corporate ecosystem. With over 15 years of experience in HR, compliance, and community building, she has been a trailblazer in nurturing informed board leaders and fostering impactful change. So, welcome Neha to today's Coffee Conversation episode.
Thank you so much.
We are at AWFI's co-working space, and so this episode we are dedicating to 8th March, that is International Women's Day. So we have got a lot of actions during that 1 week. We are doing panel discussion on cyber safety, then women achievers, then all those speakers who would be featured during that week. So this will be dedicated to all those women achievers who are contributing in their personal professional life. So this is the start. We have already started our celebrations last week also. So all those women under Stree Shakti are women achievers in their own ways. So friends, I'm Lion Amir Virani, host at Coffee Conversation, legal tech evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution, author of 15 books, and we help law firms, corporate legal, startups, SMEs with world-class technology, software licensing, and tech training solutions. So Neha, let me explain you. There are 3 rounds, professional, personal, but there is a surprise rapid fire round for which you have to be witty, fun, and quick. And
perfect.
You will get to win this gift book.
Wonderful. Look forward to winning it.
Okay. So my first question for the professional journey round, Neha. What inspired you to co-found MentorMyBoard, and what has been the biggest challenge you faced in its early days, and how did you navigate it?
Wonderful. Let me take you through my professional background first so that you connect a link between the dots in this question. So I've been working since 17 years, the initial 5 years being in HR. So I've done my post-graduation in HR, worked with corporates like the Kotak Life Insurance, like Future Group in the HR segment. While doing this, I was continuously traveling to different locations in India. So I've been kind of moving from states to states and resettling there for, 2 to 3 years approximately. And then kind of coming back to Mumbai. So I'm born and brought up in Mumbai, and I'm a hardcore Mumbaikar. But having done this, it gave me a wide arena of people to meet with. So precisely in 2011, when I left my corporate career, I was searching and navigating between things that I could possibly do. And that is where my partner came into picture, and she said that, why don't you come up with me and join me and handle a few of my business clients. So I was wondering whether I should go ahead with it or not, because I had no prior business experience. I said, let's take this chance and take an heads-on opportunity that is coming up my way. So I immediately said a yes to her. Since then, me and my partner are together for more than 13 years now, and happily having 2 women working together, setting up an example that many people aspire for. Initially, I've worked in the compliance domain, though I was not from that field, but I've handled compliances, I've handled the ROC reporting part, and the compliances for companies. In 2018, we saw a large amount of gap in the SME and the MSME space, where we said that there are those top 1,000 listed companies who have all the trainings, nurturing, mentoring, and hand-holding that is being done for them. But just below those top 1,000 listed companies, there is a huge SME and MSME sector that we have today, which do not have that required kind of hand-holding and trainings that we are speaking about. That was our moment of reflection and understanding that there is a huge need in the SME and MSME segment. Also in the listed space below those top 1,000 listed companies, where the directors, the founders, the CEOs and the CXOs need those kind of hand holding to grow their business manifold. And that is what helped us to curate something like MentorMyBoard, which is a governance tech platform today with a community of 3,000 people. So that's my short journey of 17 corporate years, so to say.
That's interesting. But how does the story behind when you two founders sat and decide on the naming of this venture, and how does Mentor My Board came up, and what is the meaning or the concept or the story behind Mentor My Board?
Right. Uh, I'll give you a small story again. In 2017, there were more than 2.5 lakh directors that were disqualified by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs because they did not file the annual returns of their companies for 3 consecutive years.
Yeah.
Many of them came back to us and said that this was such a small compliance. Had we known it, we would have definitely gone ahead and done them. But we were highly relying on the professionals that were associated with us, the CAs, the CS who were associated with them, and hence they did not pay much of attention. So that was one of our trigger points, that when directors who are signing the balance sheets are not aware about the rules, the regulations, the responsibilities that they carry as a director, it's a huge sign. So that was the initial conception or thought process behind curating something of Mentor My Board. Gradually, when we spoke to them, when we spoke to a lot of other promoters, we came to understand that boardroom is a space where there are a lot of things happening at the strategic level, at a decision making level. But if they are not aware about the right regulations, if they are not aware about the right tools, the right processes that needs to be structurized in their businesses, it becomes difficult for them to scale up. They will definitely grow, but scaling up becomes difficult. And hence we thought that we wanted to work in the space of boardrooms. So how do we start it? So definitely, training, mentoring them, hand holding them was something that came into our mind. And hence the name Mentor My Board also came into existence, or it took shape in our minds, because we wanted to keep it very close to the companies that they could definitely relate to. So Mentor My Board came as a concept that time in 2018 to us as founders. Yes.
That's interesting. So, Neha,
Yeah.
how does Mentor My Board contribute to creating stronger and more informed boards? What are the different programs, activities which you have formulated over the years?
Great. So Amir, let me tell you, we actually started working only in the year 2019, December onwards, right? Though 2018 the company was formed, we were doing those grassroots level of trainings, understanding the market space, speaking to a lot of promoters, understanding the need of the awareness that is required. And we wanted to become that awareness magnet for all the directors of the community. When we went ahead, we today have more than 1.5 crore DIN numbers in India, right? So DIN is the director's identification number by which a director is known. Uh, Mr. Ratan Tata holds the DIN number as 1. So he is the first director in India. He was, I would say. But yes, today the number has reached more than 1.5 crores. If you still leave aside a few DIN numbers which might be not in existence or which might not be used, some which are from LLPs, because LLPs also have directors, they also have their DIN numbers, right? So still we have somewhere around 60 to 70,000 of directors in India who are holding either the private limited companies or they are into the public limited companies. Now, with these directors, so when we started speaking to them, there were a lot of things that we came to know about them. Their needs were different. So when we spoke to promoters, their need was growth, their need was scale of business, their need was raising funds. When we spoke to independent directors, their need was being those stakeholders inside the boardrooms representing someone who is not in the boardroom, right? So the shareholders, the stakeholders who are outside the boardroom. So these independent directors had a different need of trainings. When we spoke to women directors, we realized that a lot of women wanted to contribute, but they did not get the right chance, or they did not find the right chance to contribute. So every director had a different need based on the role that they were playing. When we spoke to nominee directors who are appointed by the VCs or appointed by the banks, sitting on the boards of few companies, their needs were completely different. Hence, we thought that let us have some specific curated programs for each of the directors so that we are able to address their requirements. So, for promoters, founders, we have a program by the name of Boardroom Mastery Certification Program. Generally, a one day if it is in physical form, and if it is done online, we do it in 2 days, where we speak about what is the importance of succession planning, what is the importance of raising the right growth capital for your organization, how is it that you must have that emotional intelligence in the boardroom. So all those aspects, the technical and the soft skills aspects, is what we cover there. When we spoke to women directors, WOMB, that is Women on Management and Boards, is one program that was inaugurated by our finance minister in the Women Directors Conclave that we hosted at Bombay Stock Exchange in 2022. So WOMB is one program where we are helping a lot of women directors who are, who are capable enough, but who are waiting for their first board seat, or who are entrepreneurs and who want to scale their businesses to the next level. Then there is Ideal as a program, that is Independent Directors Education and Learning. So for all the independent directors who are interested in kind of, nurturing themselves or learning more about governance in particular, Ideal is one of the program. So we have curated different programs for startups, for nominee directors, for women directors. Every segment has a different program. For startups, definitely advisory board, having a good advisory board, and what are those benefits that you can derive out of an amazing advisory board. So that is one program that we do for startups, and we've tied up with 3 startup incubation centers now to kind of run that program.
That's interesting. So Neha,
Yeah.
what do you think are the most critical skills for today's board members, that is independent board members?
Super awesome question. This is Amir, I must say. The most important skills, according to me, for these directors or board members is to be agile, is to be technically sound enough. When I say agile and technically sound enough, means understanding the global paradigm shifts that are happening, which are so volatile, so frequent, that we have to kind of adapt them faster. So being aware about the global trends, uh, definitely understanding about AI, understanding about the ESG concepts that are coming up in the discussions in today's boardrooms, is something that every director must be aware of. The second gen or the next gen who is coming into the business, definitely identifying the right skill set gap at your boardroom level, and then having directors fill in those positions with those skill set, is very, very crucial and critical. I mean, gone are those days. Earlier, boardrooms used to be filled with relatives. Matlab, agar mera friend hai, mere chacha hai, mama hai, those kind of people used to acquire the board seat. But gone are those days. You really need people who have those right skill set to help you grow, because the business span is getting lower. It is now, less than even 10 years a business sustains, unless it is an big corporate already. So definitely, these are the skill sets that you must go ahead and acquire.
That's interesting insights you have shared. Now, another question will be, as you were sharing in the conversation, different types of board members.
Yeah.
So, can you get our viewers understand who are the board members, like independent is a nominee, appointed. So list down for viewers, or therefore it will become easy for them to understand, okay, who are the actual board members, which they of a company constitute.
Okay. So the company is started by the promoters or the founders of the company, who generally invest their own capital possibly and start the company or start the enterprise. While they are gradually growing, they will need CEOs, the CXOs. And when I say CXOs, it may be your CTO, your CFO, your COO. So those people around you to grow your business effectively and efficiently. So definitely promoters or founders are the major decision makers in the business, and they form part and they hold a vital role in the boardroom. Apart from that, the CEO is a person who drives the entire business, and hence CEO is one very key person who is present in the boardroom. Apart from the CEO, there are then the auditors of the business. So the financial auditors take a seat on the in the boardroom. Then there are professionals like the CA, the CS, who also have a seat in the boards. If your company is listed, then you have independent directors on board who possibly add expertise of their own knowledge on the board seat. If your company has raised loans or has raised money from some bank, then possibly, or from some VC funds, right? So then you might have someone as a nominee on behalf of the bank or the VC who forms a part of the boardroom. So these are a few very key people who will be there present in the boardroom. And then definitely the CXO team is invited on and off in the boardroom to make their own presentations. So these are very key important people inside the boardroom.
That's good insights you have shared about the board constitution. So Neha, what role do women leaders play in transforming corporate boards, and how do you see this progressing in India?
So if I may quote our finance minister, who had delivered a speech at the Bombay Stock Exchange in the event of MentorMyBoard, which was a women directors conclave. So she mentioned that there are a lot of women who have those tough negotiation skills which are very much required when you have a board seat, right? So negotiation skills are something that women are really great at, and they bring to the table as women leaders. Another very important aspect of women naturally is empathy. So when you have a woman on board, definitely empathy is something that you bring to the table. Apart from that, definitely culture is one very important aspect which every corporate would want to drive, having a great culture in the boardroom. So culture, or holding up to the culture or binding people with the culture, is something that naturally comes to women, and that is something that they drive beautifully well. And definitely there are a lot of technical expertise that women bring to the table nowadays, with STEM programs that are going on, government which is supporting such kind of programs, the financial awareness or the financial literacy programs that are being done pan India. So definitely these are some technical skills then that they bring to the table. But these three important ones, which I feel, the negotiation part, the empathy, and the culture, is what they bring to the table very predominantly.
That's beautiful. So Neha,
Yeah.
at MentorMyBoard, you have nurtured a lot of leaders. So what has been the most memorable nurturing project which you have and your team have nurtured and developed these special leaders?
So I may give you two case studies here, definitely. Uh, One of a woman entrepreneur. So she is a director in a family business, right? Her I can quote the name as well,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
okay. So
So open
Divya
platform.
Shriram, Divya Shriram from Anil Engineering. She was one of our mentee at a womb program that I mentioned sometime back. Uh, in this program, while she was going through a lot of different, learnings that come together, which combine this program, there was one realization that occurred to her, that me as director, if I learn a lot of things and take it back to my company, people may resist there, because she was from a manufacturing background, right? So she invited us as leaders to her organization, and then she said that she wanted to run some specific programs for the CXO team that she has. So that was the realization while she was going through our program. And then while we were associated with her, then we gradually also kind of started training the entire CXO team on different levels. So on the sales parameters, on the growth parameters, on the finance parameters is where our different mentors came in and out and kind of helped them grow and expedite to the next level today. So now they are in a position where they say that in the next 2 or 3 years they want to get themselves listed, and that is the journey of transformation that has happened through MentorMyBoard. One another
Mhm.
example that I quoted about is about a promoter, Mr. Mahesh Bhanushali from MCon Rasayan. So his is a listed company today. He was a promoter, and as I mentioned, Boardroom Mastery is a program that we do for the promoters, right? So when he came to this Boardroom Mastery program, there is a specific segment in the program where we have a mock boardroom session, where you are actually thrown into a case study where you actually role play as a promoter, as an independent director there, which is driven by Miss Savitri Parekh from Reliance Industries. She holds it such beautifully, and during this program, while he was going through this case study, he suddenly realized that he was holding himself back from getting listed. He had a few hesitations in his mind, and it suddenly clicked, him, that why am I holding back? I must go ahead. Today, his company is listed. After listing, he has acquired 10 times more growth. The independent directors which we gave him, who were based on the skill set which I just mentioned to you about. So the skill set gap at his board was evaluated by us, and we gave him three independent directors which are contributing beautifully to his boardroom now. So today he says that earlier I was working single handedly like a solopreneur, though it was a private limited, but today I have a fleet of people with me who are helping me growing in my journey. So these are the two case studies which immediately come to my mind.
That's very beautiful. So Neha, according to you, what is the success element for between a mentor and mentee relationship?
Interesting. uh, I feel surrendering yourself, in terms of a mentee, if I speak, you have to completely surrender to your mentor is the key towards the success of this relationship. And definitely as a mentor, it is equally important for you to be very agile, to be very in that moment present with the mentee, so that they can bind in that relationship for a longer period of time where the change occurs, because a mentor mentee relationship, according to me, does not happen overnight.
Yeah.
The change that you actually see for yourself also is not short period. So it has to be a long term relationship between both, but definitely it requires a lot of commitment and high levels of commitment from both the sides.
Beautiful. So as you were sharing earlier, you covered about succession planning.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to FMB business owners, leaders to prepare for succession planning for their organizations?
So according to me, uh, so I am a Gujarati person, right? So family businesses or business runs in our bloods, right? Those skills are right given right from your childhood days to you,
Yeah.
because you have seen all the time your parents who are speaking about their businesses, who are kind of discussing those challenges in the businesses and how is it that they overcome it. So these are the kind of skills that you need to be nurtured with right from the beginning. And I do remember I had read that book Rich Dad and Poor Dad, and that kind of stays with me and sticks to me, that it's beautifully explained there how your family plays a very important role in this journey of entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So there are highs and lows in this journey, which you generally do not find in the corporate life that you be in. There are high tides and low tides in such a way that a person might drop down to any level. May it be in form of stress, may it be in form of the mental health that we speak about today.
So Neha, you have received the Nari Shakti award. How did this recognition influence your journey?
uh, so I was in Delhi when this award was conferred to me. Definitely I was taken aback at the initial stage to understand why exactly I was chosen. But yes, I could realize that when I went there, there were more than 30 women who were awarded that day, and all came from different fields. These kind of recognition kind of help you uh, to go ahead in your journey, to make a mark, and to be visible there. So men, women both need these kind of recognitions at various stages in their life, is what I think. And that is how we also started with the directors awards. So iconic directors awards is what we are doing today, to uh, showcase the impact that these leaders or the directors that have created in their boardrooms. So yes.
Yeah, it's a good feeling for receiving award which adds value.
Yeah.
So I have also received an award from Lex Falcon for the legal tech service provider,
Wonderful.
leading, and there is only one leading legal tech. So let's continue conversation.
Yeah.
So Neha, who has influenced you from the world of corporate governance?
If you ask me, my role model is Sudha Murthy ji and Miss Indra Nui. So when it comes to corporate and corporate governance, Indra Nui is someone who comes immediately to my mind, because she has been that lady who has traveled overseas, stayed there, made her mark in the best of the best companies today, and who speaks much about how leaders should be. So definitely, she is one person whom I look up to in the corporate world. But along with that, Sudha Murthy is someone whom I look at as a role model as well, because she is one person uh, who has supported the thoughts at the initial stage, who has given up her career for her husband's journey today, and who has reworked it in some different field altogether. The philanthropy is something that came after. But yes, she is one role model that I look up to.
Beautiful. So Neha,
Yeah.
what's the long-term vision for Mentor My Board?
Long term vision. So my long term is just 5 years at the moment, because as I said, businesses do take a turnaround within 10 years. So I haven't planned much long term. I've planned for the next 5 years, which I would definitely be happy to share. So the first vision of Mentor My Board in the 5 years is to be a listed company in this space. So MentorMyBoard getting listed on the stock exchange is my first vision. Apart from that, we wish to create a community of 1 lakh directors on the platform of MentorMyBoard. So that is the second vision that we are working on today. We want to impact the space of women in leadership role. Today, the ratio stands at somewhere around 20 to 22%, which we want to possibly take to 30-35% in the next 5 years. So that is my third vision. I think with these three clear visions, in the coming 5 years, Mentor My Board has to see a huge change in terms of impacting the IPO space in terms of governance education, because startups are where the governance education has to be the highest. So the startup space impact is what we wish to create.
That's beautiful. So my last question for your professional journey round
Yeah.
would be, what one advice would you give to aspiring young professionals who want to become independent director or wants to join, take up career as a corporate governance?
So my one advice would be, it is not something which is only aspirational, which comes, just for the sake of it. Uh, if you want to become an independent director, please be very careful, be a very vigilant director. Understand the space, know the space, and then enter into it, and you will sail through. If in case you just want to take it for the sake of a designation, this is not something that you must get into, because it comes with its own liabilities, it comes with its own risks. So definitely do not enter the space only by clearing one exam, or only by feeling that, if I've done something, I am aware and I can become a director. So be prepared, understand the rules, the laws of the land, and then enter into the space. And I'm sure you as an independent director will be able to add a lot of value on the boards if you have those specific skill sets with you. And definitely Mentor My Board is there to help you at all the stages.
Beautiful. Now let's go to next round, the personal journey round, and understand Neha as a person.
Wonderful.
Tell us about your family and your formative years.
Okay. So I'm born and brought up in Mumbai to a very middle class family. My father has been an electrical contractor for buildings. My mom was a housewife. I was a very average student in the beginning. Did my graduation from Somaya College, did my post graduation from Willinkers, and post graduation was in HR, and that is how my corporate career began. I have parents who had installed, a lot of ethical values in me, and that is what I nurture even till date. So ethics comes to me very naturally, and that is all due credit to my parents. I'm a single child, and I did not have my own brothers and sisters, but our family stayed such that, my elder father used to stay in the same building in the next door. My younger uncle used to stay in the same building. So all cousins, we would kind of unite in all the events and all the celebrations that we did together. So those are the concepts that I was brought up with. Got married at the age of 21, and my in-laws have been the biggest support in my life, my entire family. My father-in-law is a businessman. My brother-in-law is also a businessman. Similarly, my mother-in-law is a housewife, but she has been the strongest support system in my journey today. Whenever I need her, whenever there is anything that I call upon for, she is the person who will say, "Go ahead and do it." So you must have family members to support you. My husband is in job, but he is my strongest pillar of support too. I have one child who is a teenager now, who is in grade 8, and has been a very, very obedient child, I would say, and a great support system to me. So I think I'm surrounded with such an amazing family who is always there to support me, and that is why I can do what I'm doing today.
That's beautiful. So Neha, how do you unwind after a challenging day at work?
uh, so I have a lot of time, I used to have earlier. Since past 1 year I hardly get time, but I used to spend a lot of time with my child, and that is my best way of unwinding a very hectic schedule. Definitely on the weekends my friends, or the relatives in the family, form an integral part, and I like to go ahead and mix with them, travel to different places. And trekking is something which I'm very passionate about, so love to trek as well.
Wow. So for 2025, what are your plans for trekking?
EBC, Everest Base Camp,
Wow.
is something that I plan to trek, but not in 2025, it is for 2026.
So what's one hidden talent or hobby that surprises people?
Surprises people, okay. Maybe connecting to people. I can connect with people very fast, and I stay connected to them for a longer period of time. So I've kind of relocated to a lot of places. I've been in Ahmedabad, I've stayed in Bangalore, I've stayed in Delhi, Gurgaon, and I've stayed in Mumbai, Nasik. I still connect to all those people. I still connect to the colleagues that I had in my first job. So yes, connecting to them and staying in touch with them for a longer period of time, nurturing the relationship is something I feel would surprise people.
So do you have a favorite book or podcast that keeps you inspired?
Favorite book, as I mentioned, Rich Dad Poor Dad is one of them, and there is one beautiful book by the name The Present. So that is one book which I love to read time and again, because it brings you back to today. What is it in front of you, and how you can get the best of the time today that you have. So being in the present, enjoying it, so that you make a good future, is something that I really really follow in life, and that is why that book is one of my favorites too.
Wow. So during your travels, you uh, have visited various places, as you've shared.
Yeah.
What's one memorable trip you want to take with your family?
Is it a futuristic one, or which
Yeah.
I have already taken?
Done, futuristic, anything you
Okay.
can share both.
Annapurna Base Camp trek was one most memorable, uh, experience that I had, because me, my husband, and my 12-year-old kid, we three of us had went to that trekking, and that was one trek which kind of tested our limitations at all levels. And mesmerizing views, amazing people to be with. So we were in a group of 14 people. The journey teaches you everything, everything in life. So you must have one such trek that teaches you everything of life.
That's beautiful. Suppose you have one full week away from work, no gadgets. What would you like to do?
Definitely trek to Annapurna Base Camp again. That was one trek that we had no gadgets with us, because there was hardly any connectivity. So this time it would be not only base camp, but an Annapurna circuit is what I wanted to do. That's in my wish list, bucket list.
As this episode is dedicated to Sri Shakti, so what does Sri Shakti mean to you?
Stree Shakti, definitely, it has a lot of importance to me. Um when I speak about Stree Shakti, it is not only in one form. Uh, so, in day to day life, we as women, we can multitask, we can handle different roles together, we can navigate between the situations comfortably. That is something which I believe as a Stree Shakti. So it is not only celebration of Women's Day on the 8th of March, but it is every day. How you take good decisions, how you navigate through the journey of your life, and how you impact more and more people while you are doing your things, is something that I called as Tree Shakti. So if you are a support system to your family as a housewife, how is it that you give your best to the family? If you are an entrepreneur, how is it that you give best to the society and your family? So these are three, things that I consider as Stree Shakti.
Beautiful. So my last one will be a googly one. Describe Neha in one line.
Oh, it's actually a googly. Uh, Neha is a fun-loving person.
Good. Let's go to next round. That's the rapid fire, the fun round. Boardroom meetings or mentoring sessions?
Mentoring sessions.
Favorite inspirational quote?
Today is the time, and it will never come back again.
A leader who inspires you?
Sudha Murthy.
Your go-to comfort food?
Any chart item.
Your favorite color?
Red.
Favorite Gujarati cuisine?
Oh, this is a good one. So dhokla and muthia.
Favorite song?
Wow. Oh, I'm taking time, but yes, there are too many favorite songs that I have. But the one of them is Jab Koi Baat Bigad Jaye, Jab Koi Mushkil Aa Jaye.
Wow. Best piece of advice received?
Be there, be resilient, show up no matter what.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Let's raise.
Cheers.
You're a morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
So you did well, and here's gift.
Woohoo! Thank you.
Just be an autograph also. I knew you will win it.
That's so nice. Thank you.
So friends, it was a lovely conversation for women out there who wants to transition in their careers. This is the episode to watch out how Neha transitioned herself from the corporate world to co-founding MentorMyBoard with Divya Momaya, with whom also we have done coffee conversation in our early days. This coffee journey is been 4 years, and from April it will be the start of the 5th year, where we have covered over 350 plus episodes with different subject experts and topics. We have also gone internationally, covered 50 episodes over there, and in 2025 there are a lot of actions will be seen at Coffee Conversation. So subscribe, and you can inspire by all these coffee speakers with their interesting personal, professional journey, their subject expertise. And if you want to be featured like Neha, visit our company page on LinkedIn, the Emerging India Forum, or website, the Emerging India Forum, DM, fill in the form. A team will connect with you and feature you. There is a lot of process steps to be followed. We have got an SOP for the Coffee Conversation show, and you really enjoy being at the Coffee Conversation show, because we are the change makers, we are the memory makers, which one of our coffee speakers shared. Okay, but these are memories for not only 1 year, 2 years, but lifetime, 100 years down the line. So that was what do you say, memorable words from our coffee speakers. And stay tuned, a lot of actions during, as should give, women is to be celebrated every day. Yes, we know that, but some special days are there where we have to acknowledge and pamper the women in our lives, in our journey. So these from 8th March, look out, a lot of actions you can see at the Coffee Conversation show. So stay safe, and we meet on Monday with another coffee speaker. Thank you.
And I must recommend this coffee show because the way the team has acted, the way they have kind of prepared the entire session for us, for all of you, has been commendable, Amir, and it was simply amazing speaking to you. I had a really wonderful time. Thank you for inviting me.